So, my last day on the U.S., the American continent, for a little while, heading back to Hawaii tomorrow. I've done a bunch of one-on-one days, like way more. I literally came over here with one person booked. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I did seven or 8 one-on-one days. So every day for like 13 days in a row, I was either in the air or sitting on the floor with somebody. Okay? It's been intense for me. Everybody please mute. Somebody's not muted. And it's great. Whoever you are that's not muted, you're breathing like a motherfucker. So that is awesome. I'll take that. Okay. Unless you're just showing up. Can everyone see I'm not muted? Can you hear me? Okay. So mute now. Come on, everybody mute. Let me see. Where's my thing here? Okay. I did it. I think I'll mute all. That sounded like somebody that's either Andrea or somebody trying to be Andrea, because I swear to God she's like a hurricane. All right, so I came to the session, believe it or not. Well, first of all, I came to the session, believe it or not, and I came to this session, believe it or not, with something to share. So rather than welcoming your questions first, I'm going to share what I have to share. And then we'll see how what you want to bring up to me, we'll see how that fits. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's okay. And I'm going to do it. All right. I've alluded to this, not quaaluded for all of you who did bad things in the 80s and 90s, maybe. I don't know. I knew it, Bridget. I knew it. I had no doubts. For those of you who have been paying attention, you've heard me alluding to the fact that for these last few months, I've been doing some deep diving, y'all. I kind of had gotten done with the whole conspiracy theory thing and going down all the rabbit holes. Because listen, here's the deal. You're creating it all. You're creating it all. You don't need to go doing all that figuring out. And someone could argue, and there is validity to the point, if you were walking through the woods and you got your leg caught in a fucking bear trap, right? Not wishing any bad on you. But if you were walking through the woods and you got your foot caught in a bear trap, sitting and saying, well, I don't need to look around or see what's going on with my leg because I know I'm creating this. There's a certain amount of, putting the rubber on the road in order for the vehicle to go. So there can be, you guys have heard me talk about every once in a while glancing at the rearview mirror, right? Some of you that have been with me for a little while, you don't want to stay like, oh, why is it fucking shit? Why? That's no good. That's no good. That's not going to help you. But a glance in the rearview mirror on occasion. So yeah, that's where I was. And then get right back to, and now I'm here. And so, a couple years ago, some crazy shit got into me. It wasn't my fault, I swear. And I stumbled onto David Icke's stuff again. I got really deep into it. You know what? I want to see what's up with this whole aliens, in the Vatican and in DC and in London. What's up with that? I got curious about it. I dove down the rabbit hole. And I will tell you that as I did a really deeper dive into that, I was really glad that I know that I'm creating it all. Because I could have got all caught up in that shit. Have you ever? Anybody? Let me go through. Let me look at all y'all pretty people. Anybody? Anybody ever got caught down that rabbit hole? Oh shit! And if it's shape-shifting aliens, we're totally fucked. Right. Oh man, to be back. From now on, if I ever travel again, I know. If I ever travel again, I'm taking my computer, because this whole like not being able to see everybody at once. You guys could be picking boogers or flipping me the bird or talking shit about me behind my back or not breathing. I wouldn't even know it. I gotta scroll and then wear my fingertip off, scraping back and forth across the screen. Okay. Hey Yuri. Aloha, buddy. All right. So who do I want to look at now? Some of you sometimes are funner to look at than others. Just saying. Don't take it personally. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, rabbit holes and David Icke and lizard sex. Okay. So then about 4 months ago, I dove deeper than I ever dove. And I tapped into some stuff that I never would have dreamed. Stuff that's happening that I would not have believed. Like when you think that you have gotten to the point where you kind of know, okay, it's the Illuminati. When you think you know, if you go about 4 or maybe 5 or maybe about 23 levels higher, and you find out who's actually running the show in our physical corner of the universe. Not sure that you want to know. I did. I was ready. I'm no longer going to get caught up in it. I'm no longer going to get upset about it. So you know what? I'm ready to go all the way with this shit. And I'm really glad I did. These last 4 months of deep diving already are the experience that I'm having is my focus on my work, my why for my work is deepening. My understanding of the mechanisms behind all the mechanisms, because listen, y'all all know that, you know, it's the Brian fucking ego show. We all know that, right? I'm fucking badass, aren't I? Aren't I bad? I mean, I ain't never seen nobody help people like I help people. And everybody that I help says, I ain't never seen nobody help people like you help people. And everybody that I just sat on the floor with, oh my God. Okay, I'm going to trust that I will keep track of where I am. I trust that I will. I might not, but I trust that I will. So, Carol, would you be willing to come on for a couple minutes?
Sure.
Hey, Carol.
Hi.
I love you.
I love you.
Nice, so I can get you to do something for me.
Well, where's the $20?
It's coming. It's coming. You do right, and we'll be talking like 25, maybe 27.
Okay.
It's not the only one. Okay, so check this out, y'all. I just spent, it was going to be a day or half a day-ish. No, actually, it was quite over half a day with Carol. And then she said, Andre is not going to be the only fucking religious bitch around here. I think that was what she said, close to that. So, could we do another day? And we did another day. And I'm going to tell you now, in what nobody's waiting for the good shit. Nobody's waiting for the good shit, are you? Christine, you're not waiting for the good shit. You're like totally present and in, right? Are you? Okay. V, I see you are. John, I don't have to worry about you ever. All right. So every time I do a session with anyone for an hour or a day or the 4 days and 3 months, 4 days in Hawaii and the 3 months, every time I do any of this, I'm in awe. First of all, at my fucking self. And second, at the infinite, unlimited being who's sitting in front of me, who is me. We're one, okay? And, we're still doing the dance of being people. And yet, and Carol is a really fucking weird person.
30 bucks. I'm upping the ante.
So Carol has been, and let's all, send our condolences. She's been a psychologist for 36 years and a damn effective psychologist. And she's also been super like LOA for years and like diving into stuff, going to seminars and all. How do I keep upgrading my awesomeness? So that has been a theme for her. And thank you for bearing with me for a minute, Carol. I just got a sense that at least one or two people watching this, especially people watching the replay, someone could say, okay, well, this is, in a way, isn't Brian just doing like a sales pitch for his days? No, in the fact that you are thinking that to even a smidgen of an extent while I'm talking about this means you ain't present. That's your stuff. That's one of your things, okay? I don't know what magic will come up. When I get inspired to say something, I never know. Do I, Carol? I literally never know. The shit we talked about, that I ain't never talked with nobody. She ain't never talked with nobody. The stuff that came out, I never know what the hell's going to come up. It just always works. It just always works. So I'm trusting that about this. I got the inspiration to pull Carol in, so here I am. We tapped into some stuff. Now, she came out and did the 4 days as a group when Andrea did. That was the first time they both came out, actually. Then I went and did 1 or 2 days with you several months ago. That was 1 day, months ago. And then she was just like, okay, I'm actually ready for the whole, like, I'm ready. My resistance is gone. My letting Brian in to a certain extent, fuck it. I see it. It was me. It wasn't Brian. It was me. I was the one being protective and resistant, okay? And we flew through the fucking stars. We went through, I almost made a joke that I'm not, this will be the first time I ever had a joke like that come up and I didn't go there. I'm just not going to go there. But we went through the past. We went through the stuff. We went down into ancestral and lifelong ultra themes because she was really ready to do it. And just, Carol, just exactly as Andrea did last week or last year, whenever it was in the past, as far as I'm concerned. If you'll just say what you feel compelled to say, and if you'll just take 1 minute to set the intention, let me say what is going to bless me and everybody who hears my voice to the absolute max. Feel that intention and whatever you got going.
Of course, my dog is going to bark now. I was probably one of the most stubborn spiritual fucks that you've worked with. And I had a lot of resistance to what I call the sales stuff. And that was probably the biggest thing that got in my way of letting my guard down and really doing the work. And I have to be honest, Andrea's live, where she talked about using the tools, and that might have been on the session, but those things, Cooper, they really made me realize that it was me, because I wasn't sure it was me. I knew I kept being attracted back to your work because I definitely felt changes and growth and releases and more freedom. But I wasn't sure if I wasn't sure that my resistance was really about me. I thought it was more about you. And that's the thing that I think really shifted on our one-on-one day. And then I was like, oh, I got to go to Michigan. And that was amazing. And then when Andrea said she was going to do the Sarasota thing, I was like, I'm in. I was the first one that signed up. And then when I found out you were coming again, honestly, I did not have a whole day that I could say, come and spend the day with me. So you had reached out to me and I said, well, I would love to do a day, but I don't have a day. And so we figured out a chunk of time that I had and we decided to do that. And that's what we did, 2 days. And it was amazing, absolutely amazing. So it's just cemented for me that the thing that has held me back is me. So if you're feeling held back, you can rest assured it's you. Pretty much it.
All right. Thank you. Now, so a couple people just commented that we got background noises. Anyone who isn't muted, mute right now, please. All right. I'm going to ask you at least one more question, Carol, and then I'm going to mute.
Okay.
Being your most unabashed, unflinching, raw, real, authentic, fearless truth. And sharing whatever you feel compelled. I feel to ask the question, what happened? What was it like? And how different is it? Life, that is. I'm going to mute.
Well, don't mute it yet. You mean since what point? At what point are you asking me to?
That's a good question. These last 2 days that we just did, what happened during them? What was it like for you without toning it down and without, you're never going to hype it up, and also without toning it down, like just being raw. And then what's different since then?
Okay. I guess, so for me, the biggest thing that is different for me since I've been working with you was when I let go of my resistance. Like that was when worlds moved for me. So I feel like that was the big thing that happened. So when you came this time, it was just for more expansion. And I had said to you, I realized I was a big fish in a little pond, and in that little world, things were really pretty good, but I was not allowing myself to want more or ask for more, and I would hear people talking about the stuff that comes up when they ask for more, and the stuff that gets in between you and that, and I would be like, oh, none of that's happening for me, but I wasn't asking. So I think that's probably, out of these 2 days that we spent together, that was probably the biggest revelation that hit me was I'm done playing small.
Beautiful.
So that was pretty big. That was very big, actually.
And the fruits will be unraveling. Okay. So Kara, as we go through this session, if you feel compelled to share more, just comment. I'll be watching the comments as best I can on the screen.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring you back in. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. So I'm extra glad that I just did that. Whoops. I'm extra glad. This ties in to where I was going and where I wanted to go, and I'm really grateful. That gave me an arrow pointing to where I was going without 100% knowing it. So if you want, who's playing small? Who here is playing small compared to what's available to them? If your hand doesn't fly up through the top of my fucking tablet, I'm going to just kick you out of the session. You're just out. Boom, just like that. Who here is playing smaller than what they are? Bridget, do you have every single thing in your life that you want? Put your fucking hand up. That works. All right, I'm kicking Bridget out of the thing. Okay, so being honest. And why would we play small? What does small? Well, Brian, it depends on what you mean by playing. And I'm not really sure about small. Yes, the fuck you are. Yes, you are. So when I was working with Carol, and that was her thing. Okay, fear of being seen, being wrong, being embarrassed. There's only about 1 million reasons. Let's do that for 1 minute. Okay, I don't want anybody else doing the chat. Thank you for that, Deanna. It's fine. Everybody take 1 minute to think, what are your excuses? All right, Dev she did it before I said it. Playing small to defer responsibility. What are all your reasons for playing it small? What are all your reasons? Stop for a minute now. What are all your reasons for playing it small? Actually make them explicit for a minute. Playing small. Asking for less than you want pretty much guarantees you're going to get less than what you want. All right, some people are chatting anyway, having to look after others, having to look after others. Fear. All right, everybody forgive me for 1 minute. I got something very, very super ultra important that I am in the middle of. And on sessions, I stay focused. I have something occurring, quite frankly, that I'm not going to reveal. I thought about revealing it publicly on this session. I'm going to reveal that next week. For now, though, I'm just going to say that I am actually in the middle of something that's significant and important enough that I almost didn't do a session today, and I opted to do the session. So you guys think for a minute. Would you rather that I have skipped the session today or that I allow a couple of interruptions? While I'm on this one, I'm going to allow a couple of interruptions as my son messages me. It's relevant to what I'm actually working on, which I almost didn't do the session today. So hang on. I might have a couple of these. Okay, that might happen again. All right. All the reasons why I don't go for everything I want. Have you taken a minute, you specifically, I'm going to look and see nods or head shakes. Have you thought about why you're not going for what you want? Did you think about it when I said it? I'm looking at your faces, guys. I'm scrolling through. Hello. Did you take a minute actually to think about why? And did you see some areas in your life where you're not going for everything you want? Did you? Okay. Good. All right. Looks like just about everybody. Okay. So, just in case I haven't been totally clear, I do not prefer doing these fucking sessions on a tablet anymore, ever again. I really enjoy being able to see everybody and tap into everybody at once. You've heard me say this, I'm going to guess somewhere between 1 and 1,000 times what I'm about to say. And there is actually the chance that you might fucking hear me this time. It's unlikely. It is possible. When you turn and you take a step, breathe a little deeper, Bridget. When you turn, let's don't take a step yet. When you turn towards what you want to experience that you're not experiencing right now, you instantly come face to face Stop thinking. Stop thinking. Become present and breathe. And be present to every syllable that I'm saying. Not what you know I'm about to say, not what you've heard me say before. Become totally present. I've never done a session where I was here to do less than the absolute utmost that I could possibly do to help you. And what I'm sharing right now can be the catalyst for one or more today. When you turn and you face, what would I actually really like most? What do I really, what's something I really want? You turn towards it. You come face to face with everything you ever placed between yourself and that. Well, Brian, I'm not sure what you mean. Well, do you accept that you're creating your reality? Do you really? Do you accept the possibility that then the universe is the reflection and the projection of everything you think and believe that you know, the vast majority of which is hidden from you by you, much of it tangled up with emotion that you're trying not to feel? Do you really? Do you really accept that? How about you, Rex? Yeah? All right. Then if you're the source and you're the universe you're creating, then if there's anything you ain't experiencing that you want, who is keeping it from you? In a way, you could say that your infinite, unlimited being in a state of eternal grace, like for in heaven at the eternal level, you haven't popped out into time and space. You are everything. And you're the source of everything. And there's no things. At the eternal level, which is here right now, that's what you are. And on this time and space side, seems like a whole bunch of separate things, doesn't it? And the ones that you would like to be experiencing that you're not, by definition, you would have to be keeping them away from yourself. But now take a look at your hand and your arm. Is it continually throwing that thing away? No. Then how are you doing it? Well, that's an important question. How might you be keeping everything? And why would you be keeping something that you want? Okay, so I'm going to use the example of an intimate relationship with someone. So here you are, and you really want to have the ultimate relationship, but you're, at home jerking off or petting your cat. It's not just a male thing. Petting cats, I mean. Okay. You're at home, watching TV. But you actually kind of want a relationship. But you know what you did? You said, I don't want no fucking relationship because I know what happens when I have a relationship. Maybe you've never had an intimate relationship because you watched your mom and dad. You said, oh, I know let me tell you about relationships. I know about intimate relationships. Oh, marriage, I know about that. Who's relating right now? Who's relating? I'm scrolling too fast. Who's relating? So you want to have that relationship? Yeah. Oh my God, you guys are relating. I love it. I'm with the right people. I love it. So you ain't got no relationship, or you've had a bunch of shitty relationships, or maybe you're between relationships. Okay, but in any case, you ain't got the level of intimacy that you want, even if you have a partner. So how could you be wanting an intimate relationship and not have it? You would have to be keeping it away from yourself. And I don't see, Brian, I don't see exactly how I'm keeping it away. Let's don't worry about that yet. Let's find out, why would you be keeping it away from you? First of all, it's because you know what happens when you have a relationship. Right? So what you do is you either stay single or you find somebody safe and easy to control, so that shit that that happens in relationships doesn't happen to you. Keep breathing. Because if you were to turn and put all of your attention on, I would really love that. The minute you do, you come face to face with everything you ever placed between yourself and that relationship. And does anyone want to guess what it is that you put between yourself and that relationship? Anybody want to guess? If you want to guess, type it in the chat. V says fear. Marilyn says feelings. Bridget says feelings. Somebody's going to win a purple teddy bear today. We picked the right answer. All right. Peter Nelka says knowing. All right. Everybody's right. But some are a little more right than others. Because here's what it is. What's in between you, everything I think and believe that I know. That's what's in fucking between what you and what you want. Is everything you think and believe that you know about relationships, most of which is hidden from you by you in the unconscious, much of which is tangled up in feelings. So really what you run into is those feelings. Okay? You want more, those of you that work a job, you really want to get a raise, you really want to make more money, you damn well deserve it. You get ready to tell your boss and you go, no, you can't do that. Those of you that don't have a job, that want a job, how would I feel walking in and asking for help? Think about some other things. All right, everybody take a minute. Close your eyes. We're gonna get something done here today. Close your eyes and tap in. And I want you to think about something you would really love. More money, more sex, an amazing relationship, a more intimate relationship than you've ever had, a job, better pay at your job. Think about it. Switching careers to grow your business. Think about it. Now, I trust that you have something. So now I want you to ask and check in. When I really think about what that thing is that I really want, see yourself getting ready to do it. You're getting ready to pick up the phone. You're getting ready to walk up to your boss. You're getting ready to tell your partner, I would like for you to eat me like an ice cream cone. It don't matter what it is. You are getting ready to take action on this thing that you really, 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 really want. See what you feel. See what you feel. And those of you who will, type in, those of you who dare, you can either, if you only dare to type in what you felt, type in what you felt. If you dare to type in what it was that you wanted and what you feel, I promise I'll read it. Bring it. I can't have what I want. Fear of being super rich with so much money. Andrea, fear. Fear and sadness. Fear of rejection relates to relationships and money. Fear of humiliation. All right, who was that said humiliation? Wanting to grow my business for super fun and wealth. All right, Linda, you know what? Linda, unmute.
I was afraid of that. Okay,
That's why I did it. All right. Everybody, you guys can see the chat. Take a minute to look at it. Everybody, I don't normally do that. All right. Somebody remind me after I do whatever the hell I'm about to do with Linda. Remind me that I'm going to go back and look at the chat. Somebody just take responsibility for that so I don't have to. Okay, because there's a lot there. There's a lot there. You guys are going to want me to address them any fucking way. Especially those of you that want me to pull you on and help you with it. So, Linda, I have now officially pulled you in. All right? And you and I both know, as does everyone in the universe because we're all one, you and I both know you've been holding yourself back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to, let me do an anti-sales pitch. Oh, he just he talks about those days, and then because people come on and I'm going to do an anti-sales pitch. Linda came out and did 4 days with me and still resisting. Okay. So just so nobody thinks, oh, you go out, Brian fixes you. I don't fix a damn thing. I help you as much as you will let me. And I will tell you right now that I watched Linda sit on that cushion in the pyramid. I think she hogged the pyramid more than anybody that's ever come out. Some people like get in and out, and they want me to get in there. She's like, fuck it, I'm getting in. So she was in the pyramid the whole time. And I will be coming back to the chat, everybody. And I watched this woman fly through the stars. I watched her let go of truckloads of stuff. It wasn't like a maybe. She wasn't like, maybe if I cry and scream, Brian will think his shit works, but he actually sucks. It was not like that. It was not like that at all. And the stuff that she laid down, and Linda, you've seen it very often when I pull somebody on, I might yap for 2 or 3 minutes. I got a couple of things I feel like really saying to help you. Number one is, Samantha, Debbie, I don't fix nobody. There's nothing wrong with you. Now, you're absolutely positive beyond the shadow of a doubt that you're fucked up. And if you offend it, you're a spiritual fuck. That's just how it is, okay? Yeah, everybody believes they're fucked up until they're not, until they realize they're not. And what I do with people, and I've alluded to this gratefully, I can be semi-brief with what I'm saying here, because I like last week when I was talking about Andrea, when I get to work with someone like, it's not like how Andrea is, it's the way she's open and she has come back again and again and again. And it's so easy to say, well, if your shit worked, the person wouldn't have to come back. She ain't never come back for the same thing, y'all. She ain't never come back for the same thing. So when I get to work with people in this ongoing way, I get to learn things because I'm doing multiple oil changes on the same vehicle. Those of you that have followed my oil change analogy a few times, I get to do it on the same vehicle. Only when they come in the next time, this time they were driving in the desert for a while and their oil's a certain way. Next time they were driving in the snow and the ice and their oil's a different way. And the next time they come in and part of their suspension is loose and wobbly and
Did we lose you?
I think Brian's signal dropped, maybe. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry about that.
There you
Yeah,
are.
I've got all my notifications off. I'm on Do Not Disturb, and a phone call came in. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. So I don't know where in the hell I was. I'll just back up a sentence. So when I get to work with people repeatedly, when I get to do this, and I get to see them from angle after angle after angle after angle, and I get to discover how some of these issues come up one after another after another. And there's things, listen to me now, the best analogy that I've ever come up with is the football players. For those of you that haven't heard it 10 times, it's like this. If you watch a big football game, NFL, top players in the world, millions of dollars at stake, and there's a 250-pound dude running with the ball and 7 350-pound dudes tackling, and they're stacked on top of him. If you look and watch, you will see that not one person in that fucking stack moves a finger until the biggest guy on, or the big guy on top is off. Then the next guy gets up, and then nobody under there with 1,000 pounds or more on top of them tries to move. Number one, they're playing the game at the highest level of performance that they're capable of. Number two, they have a certain amount of physical endurance for that game of playing at the pinnacle of their power. They got no energy to waste, and they don't want to get injured. So when they're covered with 1,000 or 2,000 pounds, they don't fucking move. So it's kind of like that. When we get the guy off the top, the next person can move. It's similar to how getting the issues out of our lives. Okay, now, one of the things that I'm going to be talking about over the next few weeks, and I'm going to touch on it right now, is I see like never before the extent to which we are programmed and the extent to which our confusions and illusions and delusions and traumas and upsets and our behavior patterns and the shit that we do that's fucking crazy as shit is all the result of programs that got loaded into us matrix style, okay? All the way down to the illusion that we're in a body. It's a program. It's a series of programs. And you can't uninstall the, you ever tried to uninstall a program and your computer said you cannot uninstall this while it's running? Okay, so you got to get the person on top off before you can get to the next program, before you can get to the next program. And so sometimes it does happen with me that whether I do a session with someone or a day or 4 days, especially with stubborn spiritual fucks who've been working on themselves forever, like Linda has, okay, she comes in knowing there's no way this can work because nothing ever does. There's no way this is going to work. And that's a program that does a lot. Then the fact that we handle this and this and this and this and this, which were woven into and reflecting off of other life issues, I ain't got a button to push that moves everybody off the stack at once. I mean, if I did, I'd be charging a hell of a lot more money, okay? And I don't think you want it that way. If you did, you would know where the fucking button was yourself. You wouldn't even be wasting your time on these dumbass sessions. You didn't want it that way. You wanted to wake up in a curve, you know, the whole hockey stick thing. All right, with that said now, sometimes if we handle this and this and this and this and this and this, and okay, I'm like at the end of day one and I say, do you feel like you got your money's worth for the 4 days? Oh my God, it's so much more than I ever dreamed. It's the best thing I ever did. Holy fuck, this is the good shit. And then the next day, oh my God, it's 10 times more. I can't believe I would never be upset again. I'm going to sprout wings and fly home without the airplane, Brian. This is the best shit ever. And then morning 3, they sit down with me. Ryan, honestly, I don't even know what we're going to do. I'm clear. I'm free. You've fixed and healed me forever. Everything could never be better. And we 10x the results on day 3. And they're like, and they get home and I say, okay, I would really appreciate that testimonial video. And they say, well, I just want to make sure it worked. I don't really know. If I don't ever have any more issues, and if every time I poop, the commode flushes itself from now on, and I don't have to eat because my body just instantly makes everything naturally, then I'll know that it worked. Okay. Thank you for being so present and patient with me, Linda. And something really miraculous and really awesome just happened. So everybody stay totally tuned in now. Stay totally tuned in. Someone left the meeting, and or either they left the meeting or they switched their video off. And when they did, my view, I can only see 4 people at a time. My view of Linda shifted a screen to the left. So I scrolled to the left, and now V is right by you, Linda, on my screen. And this really brings up something totally amazing. V and I did one session one time, and the biggest football player of her life disappeared. And it disappeared so powerfully that it was like playing one of those Jewel games or something. Like when it blew up, all the gemstones nearby all blew up at the same time. And she's like, oh my fucking God. And it's been different. That one thing in her life that was the biggest thing has been different forever. So she's like, one fucking session. What the hell's wrong with Linda? 4 days and the bitch still in fuck? You know, no, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. I want to really bring that in. The one issue can be enough to set the cascade. Unless one of the issues that we don't handle during the 4 days is an ultra pervasive issue. And every time that one comes up, it has something to do with something like, see, that stuff didn't work. If it touches enough issues, it'll create that. This perception, see, oh, it's still the same. Oh, it's still the same. Now that is the biggest lie of all. So close your eyes for 1 minute, and I promise I'll bring you on. And everybody close your eyes. We were all programmed to see the science of our planet, other than quantum physics. The science of our planet is bought and paid for. The science of our world is the biggest box that we get. The ultra most powerful, now we're all infinite unlimited beings creating it all, but the richest, most powerful beings running our planet completely run science, and everything that they get to discover and everything they get to publish and everything that we will ever find out about. So it's like we're living in the, well, I say it's like, it's true, and it's like we're living in the Matrix. And living in the Matrix, the science that we get is actually the number one thing that keeps us stuck in the Matrix, because it keeps verifying the same. All these discoveries, they're still inside the box. You dig what I'm saying? Somewhat? Okay, there's more. We'll talk about it more later, I promise. And so, being that we're in the Matrix, and being that science itself keeps us stuck in the Matrix, it just keeps proving the Matrix over and 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 over. Stay curious, breathe in deep. You start to think about what you want, and you begin to feel that feeling, and you say, I knew it. It's a banana peel. This will make more sense, Linda, just stay with it. It's like stepping on a banana peel, which is tilted in such a way that it instantly throws you back into what you knew. And the programs that we've set up work perfectly to do it. And we, either that shit didn't work, or there's something so wrong with me that I can't even get this right. There it is. There it is, Linda. Okay. So go ahead. Go ahead. Everybody, you can open your eyes. We'll get further. Go ahead on mute, Linda. All right. So read to me. I know you got more. And if you will, first read to me what you wrote in the chat.
Okay, let's see. Wow, people wrote a lot. Let's see.
I have to scroll up.
Wanting to grow my business for super fun and super wealth. And the feeling I had was fear, because I couldn't take action, is how it felt in my body. It was just, yeah. So I called that fear. I don't think I was feeling, I just experienced no movement in my body.
Wanting to grow my business for super fun and super wealth.
And the minute I wrote for super fun and super wealth, I remembered one of our sessions too, about 4. Like, why does it have to be 4? But that I want to have fun and have a great life with his wealth. Yeah.
All right. So right now, at the level of fun that you're allowing yourself, now this is not perfect language, but it's fucking English. It's never going to be perfect, okay? I'm doing what I can do here with the English language. I'm going to playfully tell you that by you're making it super fun so you can make it more than you think you can have to keep yourself frozen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're making it super wealth. I mean, you feel like you don't have fucking wealth now.
It's beyond
got-
real. Yeah.
Make it super wealth. Why even try? I'm never going to get there. And besides, I don't know how to define super fucking wealth.
Now I get to stay here.
That's right. And I'm perfectly justified staying here because
Look at that. It's way too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
So you have been creating goals for you. Listen, I'm not a fan of fucking goal setting. I don't know if anybody's ever heard me talk. I am not a fan of goal setting. And the funny thing is that 99.9% of people in the self-help and personal development world all teach goal setting. I'm not a fucking fan because it's kind of like, imagine that you didn't have any legs and you decided you wanted to win a race that required legs. I mean, you could get prosthetics, or you could get a wheelchair, or you could learn to run on your hands faster than other fuckers. Infinite possibilities. But if it was a race that the rules require that you run on 2 legs, you're already disqualified. And you're going to go, I'm going to do. Okay, now let's shift that just a little bit. Imagine that you were in a dream, and in the dream you didn't have no legs. And in the dream, you didn't know you were dreaming, but in the dream, you knew you didn't have no fucking legs. And so knowing you had no legs, you said, I'm going to enter that race that requires, so you disqualify yourself from any possibility of winning from the start. How long have you been doing that then?
As long as I can remember.
That's right.
Can I share, I watched the Loss video yesterday. And I had an awareness of losing, wanting to stay the child, like this, I don't want to be someone who can accomplish things. That gives me this identity. I'll lose this identity of being someone who can't handle life if I actually handle life. So something along those lines came up, which relates to this.
And that's true. So you would be surprised, and you're probably about to be surprised. Say those words again. Everybody give her 100% presence.
About what I sensed yesterday?
Well, yeah, what you just said, if I do that, I'll lose being one who, say that again.
Right, so I had the experience of a comfort with being the one who, to get help from others, I have to be the one who never accomplishes anything. So I felt, I experienced, looking back on my life, to being the one, if I want help, the only way I deserve help is if I'm the one who can't do anything. So I saw the comfort of, I'm the one who can't capably handle my life. That keeps me getting something, some little bits of help and love.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now, I want you to, you can see the whole screen, right? You can see everybody.
I'm only seeing you, but I can see this. Yeah.
Switch to gallery. Now,
Got it.
everybody,
Yeah.
everybody, what she just said might sound really specialized, but if you feel like you can relate, I might lose being the one who's a victim. Go ahead and raise your hand. I might lose being the one who can't. I might lose my position. I might lose what's familiar. I might lose the role that I've had. I might lose mommy and daddy. I mean, if I don't need them anymore, they might leave. And okay, now this is what I wanted you to see. You see how many people just raise their fucking, like, you know, a lot of people would say that sounds like a really specialized thing. Like nobody, no, almost everybody raised their hands. And the ones who didn't raise their hands just didn't quite realize exactly how much that's been affecting them. And almost everybody did. All right. Okay. Wow. Well, I knew this was going to come up soon. I didn't know it was going to come up today. So most of us have heard the phrase, many of us in the spiritual fuck world have heard learned helplessness, learned helplessness, learned helplessness. And so just one example. You know, I was fucking 3, 4, 5 years old. I fucking hated school. Like, oh my God, hated. I wanted to be with mommy and daddy. Like, don't make me go with these crazy. I don't know those. I know you crazy fucks at home. I don't know these crazy fucks. I don't want to. It's scary, and I don't like it, and I don't want to meet it. And so one day, lo and behold, preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, we got sick one day. We had a fever, and fuck, they let us stay home. I'm gonna be sick forever. I love this. Mommy, check my head. It's really warm. No, really. Okay, we would piss on our forehead to make that thing warm so that mom would check our forehead and we would like be able to stay home from school, right? Right? And a million other ways. So let's just go ahead and do this right now. I am not guaranteeing that your hair will become thicker or your liver will become 3 inches heavier. If you're a guy, that your nuts will hang lower, anything like that. I'm saying if we do this with our attention, with our presence, with our hearts, there's going to be a shift in our bodies, in our lives, and in our universe. And I want to just go ahead and go there. And it's relevant to this, Linda, okay?
Mhm.
So everybody close your eyes. Everybody breathe. Everybody consider being born. Now here you were, infinite, unlimited being, just taking a short vacation from eternal love, joy, peace, and bliss. And they fucking jerk you out, maybe with cold steel forceps. Maybe they cut your mom's stomach. Your mom's been through all the crazy shit. You come out, they slap your ass, so your first breath is associated with pain. They jerk you away and start stabbing needles into you. Oh my God, oh fuck. Okay, then for the rest of the next year or two, many, many months, you're laying there unable to fucking move. You could like wiggle, an arm. Okay. Utterly helpless and born into a world of brain dead, shut down heart, fucktards. Eyes closed. Don't avoid this. Go inside. Born in a world of such madness. Now, consider a potentially kind of, sort of, maybe newish kind of thought, a little bit, sort of, maybe, kind of. The sperm and the egg that came together. What if the sperm and the egg each were an infinite coded package of programs? I mean, have you ever seen the size of a sperm or an egg? Actually, the little singles. You ever seen one of those? We're talking an itty bitty, teeny tiny little, and yet, didn't that unfold into what you call you? Didn't it? You with me? Everybody breathing? That sperm and egg unfolded. So in other words, it held the code for everything that you think you are. Now, I did that session called Me, and a lot of y'all have watched it a few times. Eyes closed, breathing deeply, letting my words fall like rain on your front porch, and you're sitting inside warm and you're tapped in and listening. Now's the moment to really relax into this. What if the sperm and the egg each were coded packets with all the programs from your dad and his whole ancestry, and all the programs from your mom and all of her ancestry, And those two programs combine together into what I call me. Now, I'm going to dare to say that in some ways, that is the most profound shit I have ever said. And it is the most profound thing that you maybe have ever considered. And don't worry about my ego. Do you get any inkling that what I'm saying might be true? Just give me a little nod. If you do, if a little tiny space, don't worry about my ego. I ain't worried about it. Okay, that the sperm and the egg that came from mom and dad. And you know, I don't know if you check in, unless your name is Jesuso de Cristo, unless that's your name, you had both a mom and a dad. You had a sperm and an egg, right? Otherwise, virgin birth, tell me about it. I'd love to promote you. All right, so there you are. You then, by definition, might be a packet of programs. Now, wait, maybe behind all those programs, there might be a truth. And maybe you created the universe over the last, I don't know, 14, 15 billion years. Maybe you created it in such a way, straight spine and deep breath will get you through. Maybe you created the universe in such a way that there would be a galactic federation and that there would be alien species, you know. I mean, if we stop for 1 minute, we weirded out by the idea of creatures on planets in outer space. All you got to do is take a deep breath and say, oh, wait, I'm a creature on a planet in outer space. Hello, surrounded by creatures on the planet in outer space. It's not that weird. And maybe there were galactic wars, and maybe some other species did get involved. And maybe they did fuck with our DNA and create this illusion so that we would have this illusion of being a physical body in a physical universe so that they could somehow use, but that doesn't change the fact that behind it all, I am the source. But it's not the me that I thought I was. It's not the limited me that needs to play it small. Is there any possibility that I play it small because they coded that into the program, because the smaller I play, the more excess energy there is for them? Is that possible? I don't give a shit how weird it is. Is it possible? Oh, y'all breathing out there? So, you know, it's a Star Wars and, you know, galactic federations and shit. Hey, I ain't saying it's true. I ain't saying it ain't. But can you deny that in a very literal sense, and whether you ever thought about it before, breathe deeper so that you can go all the way. Can you deny that in a very literal way, a sperm cell is the code of your father's entire ancestry in a little packet? Can you deny that your mom's egg is a little packet of all those programs? And look how it unfolded into what you call you. I know you don't have anything in common whatsoever with your mom and dad, right? I'll bet your mom and dad, I'll bet they always played it as big as they were, 24/7, right? No, none of those programs got handed down. How about the school system? It taught you everything you needed to know about your infinite being, didn't it? No. How to have true intimacy and deep communication in your relationship? No. How about the truth about abundance? They taught that shit in school, didn't they? Every day. That was the main thing they were focused on. No, not at all. So what a trip. Maybe, just maybe, it's a bunch of programs. So then that would put the whole playing small thing in a very different context, wouldn't it? We're playing small by pretending we're fucking bodies. Pretending we're human. And now with all of that context, there I am, a package of programs laying in the hospital neonatal, whatever that fucking program, jerked away from our mother's body when our natural program says be on mommy for the next 6 months, All right. We felt absolutely, utterly helpless and powerless. And then mom and dad, they wouldn't look, if they were even around, they wouldn't look at us and check into our energy field to see what they prefer. They just pick us up whenever the fuck they want to. God, I'm laying here. Leave me alone. Now that sounds like a small microscopic thing. I don't know. Do you? Someone picking you up when you didn't want, they didn't feed you when you were starving, but they fucking fed you when you didn't want to eat. And then they'd get pissed off if you wouldn't fucking eat it. Sometimes you'd have piss in your diaper for a long time, a hell of a lot longer than you wanted to, and they wouldn't change you, and you were hurting. And you'd cry, and if they were tired, they might yell at you for crying when you were your most vulnerable. And we learned some crazy shit. We learned some crazy shit. Starting with, I'm a body, helpless, powerless. And then we added to it, because sometimes when we seemed most powerless, they seemed to give us the most attention and time and focus. And we said, I'll be goddamn if I'm going to ever let my fucking, this powerless illusion go, because that's what gets me the good shit. So let's look for a second here. This feeling of powerlessness. And everybody, I want you to feel as powerless as you felt in the last few days of some circumstance that you don't know how to change. How powerless you felt at different points in your life. In this very moment, what you were talking to me about, Linda, I don't know, this feeling of powerlessness. And everybody's breathing. I want you to feel and tap into and find the feeling of powerlessness as best you can. Feeling of powerlessness. Find the episodes, the moments of powerlessness, just the best you can. Don't worry about doing it right. Just do it. This feeling of powerlessness. Everybody got it? The shit that you don't think you can do, the shit you don't think you can change, the shit, okay. And let's do it out loud. I retrieve all of my energies. It's already working. I retrieve all of my energies bound up in this feeling of powerlessness. And I take all those energies back to the perfect place in my true self. It's already working. Feel it. You don't need to know what the outcome is going to be. You could just ask a question within yourself. Am I really willing to play powerless any longer? Look at the scraps you were getting. Do you honestly think the scraps that you were able to squeeze out by playing powerless is even remotely close to the treasure that's available to you when you stand in your power? Have you ever noticed that when you feel powerless, sometimes you want to be strong? And then when you get strong, you get tired. See, strong is not the antidote to powerless. Your infinite power is what we're talking about. And you don't have any idea in your conscious mind of who it was. Where did the roots of this powerless originate? I mean, who was the one who showed me I was powerless in the first? Do you have any idea how many non-me energies in this way? How many people taught you that it was better to be powerless and that you were powerless, and that even when it sucked to be powerless, you didn't have any choice because you were fucking powerless, right? Okay. So let's just do it and mean it. And I don't care. Let the other people in the room, in the other room who hear you through the walls, let them think you're crazy. Speak it from your gut. I remove all non-me energies related to this feeling of powerlessness from all my cells, from all my DNA, from all my bones and tissues and organs, from all my bodies, and from my personal space. And I send it back to its origins. What's the possibility that I created that alien race 150,000 years ago to come visit this planet and do genetic modifying so that I could have a temporary experience of being powerless? What if it's all just a dream and none of it's actually happening? If I'm all love, then of course when I go on vacation, send me somewhere that it looks like there's no love. I want to have a fucking vacation and experience. If I'm all powerful, fucking send me somewhere that I can have the experience of being powerless. What the fuck? Kind of funny in a way. Shit wasn't when I was laying there and I was seemingly helpless. I mean, I set up my existence on this fucking planet in such a way that the first damn 8, 10, 12 months of being in a body on this planet, I was shown that I was fucking powerless, surrounded by fucktards that wanted to hurt me and ignore me and neglect me and force me to do shit I didn't want to do. No way that would affect me. Potential for some relief here, isn't it? I mean, no goddamn wonder I felt fucking powerless and hopeless. And next thing I knew, I created this educational system that would drive it in all the way. When I have to pee, I have to what? Raise my fucking hand and get your permission so I can piss? What the fuck? And sometimes you can say no to that. Ugh. Sit down, be still, don't talk until you're spoken to, don't ask questions without raising your hand, don't interact with each other, and we'll tell you what to think. And you'll only get approval when you repeat the answer that we want to program into your little powerless ass. Kill me now. I said, kill me now. I don't want to do this anymore. And in the midst of that hell, in the midst of that hell of education, we would hear the whispers. You better enjoy all the fun when you're little, fucker. Because when you grow up, life's a bitch and then you die. The only two things certain are death and taxes. Life hadn't even begun to kick your ass yet. Wait till you find out about responsibility. That should be funny if it wasn't so miserable. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? Did you ever look at it this way before? Because it's a little different looking at it from here. Then, if you're lucky, if you do great at the program, you'll get to go to school for 4 or 8 or 12 more years. And then you get to go to work where someone has power over you. Someone's have power over you. And all along the way, the opportunity for bullies. Made that shit up along the way, bullies. People for whom the powerlessness of being a baby and a toddler and a child, and they get to school, they're taking that shit out on somebody. So you get to be even more powerless. Now, is there any possibility of any kind that perhaps the rest of your life has been a series of reactions to this feeling of powerlessness? You think? So in other words, when you say, you know what, I want to do more. I know what I'll do. I will make my career extra, super, mega fun so that I can scare myself out of doing it. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna also make it extra, super, mega wealth that I know I don't deserve, that I know other people are gonna judge me if I get. I probably can't. I don't know how to handle it. If I do get that much money, it's gonna create a lot of pain, and other people are gonna want to borrow it, and some people are gonna not like me because I have it. I'm not gonna be able to really fucking enjoy it. And then the goddamn taxes. Fuck shit. I'm just gonna go back and do what I was gonna do, which was nothing. Seems like I just about dialed it in there, Linda, doesn't it? All right, so keep breathing. And now we're going to stop for a minute and we're going to really be curious. What are some of the behaviors I have engaged in over the years that just might have been reactions to this feeling of powerlessness? Now I'm going to give you a hint. It's just about everything you did from the second you woke up in the morning to the time you went to sleep. It's just about everything that you did, just about everything you didn't do, everything you did half-assed, everything you did finish so you could beat yourself up. See, I am powerless. Every time that you brush your teeth for 13 seconds longer than you knew you were supposed to so that you could feel guilty about it. Everybody you were going to call, but you didn't. Every time that you promised to do something you didn't and someone looked at you and said, oops, sorry, I'm the powerless one. But does that mean I can stay home from school? And they said, nope. That train left the station years ago, baby. Doesn't work anymore. How many of the things I've said were actually, I mean, is there any possibility, and I'm not only talking to Lynn, is there any possibility that my whole self-help journey, I always played half-ass at it? The last thing I'm going to let happen is working with that Brian guy. The last thing I'm going to let that shit work. Fuck. Take away my powerless? I think not. Mm-hmm. Oh. And so, Omar, you digging this shit, man? I notice you're back. And so, out loud, I retrieve all of my energies, bound up in all my reactions to this feeling of powerlessness. And I take all those energies back to the perfect place in my true self. The rewards of playing small don't exist. So I'll give this another minute or two of breathing before we open our eyes. So be curious. And if you will, just look back, swing back across your entire life and look at all the times you ever felt helpless. Look at all the people that ever showed up and showed you that you were helpless. Look at all the people who seemed to you to prefer that you were helpless. They could get an extra large piece of pie. And you would say, no, that's fine. I don't really, I'm full. Look at the friends and business partners and associates and relationship partners who really like you playing powerless. I got a word for you for just a moment. Just consider the word martyr. Martyr. No, I'm fine. You go ahead. Well, you pick the restaurant again. Oh, the benefits of being powerless don't exist. They were short-lived illusions that actually didn't fucking pan out anyway. Look at all the evidence that you have had a feeling of powerlessness and you were letting it actually run, like the powerless program, we could call it. Look back at the powerless program in your whole life, in everything that you've done, even your entrepreneurial, or maybe especially your entrepreneurial endeavors that you've been so outrageously, unbelievably, miraculously fucking half-assing. Like if there was an award for first place half-ass, half place. I don't know how to actually do that. And just look back at all of it and all the prices that everybody pays for alternating, no, I'll be powerless. No, it's my turn to be powerless. Look at all that crazy shit. And if you will, give yourself an itty bitty teeny tiny little smile and just say, look what I created. Now, those of you that play along on these sessions half-assed, don't come bitching to me about your half-assed results. Look what I created. And be very curious. The shit that you're damn sure that you didn't create, just accept the possibility that you did, just for fun, just for the minute. You can go back to your denial anytime you want. Wow. Wow. Well, I had to because... No, you didn't. You chose to. And when you're seeing the fruits of all of that, madness, goofy, crazy, cuckoo shit, if you will, just say, I forgive myself anyway. Now, while you're sitting there in your self-forgiveness, yeah, I forgive myself anyway. Fuck it, I forgive myself anyway. I'm just going to remind you, of course you forgive yourself anyway. What the hell else were you going to, infinite, unlimited being of unlimited power, projecting out of eternity into time and space, having experience? Of fucking course you're going to make it look like you're powerless. And you want to drive that program in deep. So all the powerlessness that mom and dad and all their ancestry ever mastered, you can bring it on, man. Let that be in my DNA so I don't skip around it. Of course I forgive myself. I was doing my best that I could ever possibly do the whole time. And now, if you really want extra credit, look around at everybody that ever overpowered you and realize they didn't, and just say, and I forgive them too. Will you? I forgive them too. Yeah. Now give yourself a minute to feel that relief. And admit the relief in every sense. Admit that it's there and admit it there. Admit it. Yeah. And then just say out loud and feel the relief when you say, I choose peace. I choose peace. I choose peace. And now look at the person who most recently supposedly overpowered you. And I want you to do something here. Look at the person that you think that was outside of you that overpowered you. And if it's absolutely only you, then look in the mirror. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to look in their eyes. And I want you to look so deep until you see the part of them that's unshakable. The part of them that's actually the infinite, unlimited being. There's a still point in each one of us. And in that still point, that's where we're one. We're all that still point. So when you look in the eyes of the other, past all the illusion of them overpowering and you being powerless and somebody's to blame and somebody's a victim, and beyond all that, look at the part of them in their eyes where you both were winking at each other the whole time. Two infinite, unlimited beings that are actually the same infinite, unlimited being. Two facets on an infinite gemstone in a universe of infinite gemstones. Nobody did anything wrong. It was all a dance. Shiva, spinning, flipping, whirling, having an experience in the illusion of time and space. And looking in the eye of that person, say, I choose peace. And see it reflect. Now, let's, if you will, let's stay eyes closed. I'm going to go over to the chat and I'm going to look at some of this crazy shit you guys said. I mean, these important comments that you made. Mariah had said financial freedom and free from OCD fear. And I'm going to, I don't see anybody's faces right now. Everybody, I trust your eyes are closed and you're breathing deep. Financial freedom and free from OCD fear. What if there's no such thing as OCD? What if OCD is a program that some people pick up and some people don't? Every time you call it OCD, you distance yourself from feeling the simple fear. And what are the odds of someone who's endlessly claiming OCD ever attaining true financial freedom or any freedom? Veronica, intimacy, embarrassment, fear. Cindy, fear of what I want being taken. Like, why even fucking get it? It's just gonna be taken. And literally that could be from we were sitting on the ground, 2 years old, playing with our rattle, and that 5-year-old bastard jerked it out of our fucking hand, and mom and dad didn't do nothing about it. Freedom, wealth beyond imaginings. Wow, wealth beyond imaginings. Boy, now that sounds a lot. I see why you were getting into it so much, Debbie, because that was really relevant to what your friend was doing there, right? When I fell into that sadness, when I took affirmative action, I felt relief. The most amazing intimate relationship and fear that it doesn't exist. Carol, fear for putting myself out there still. Esther, my want to build a seminar series worldwide to help people and be financially free. What is between is the fear of having it because it'll be taken away. There's that again. Fear that I'll get everything I want. And you know what? If I get everything I want, my victim bullshit, which I've been milking every goddamn day of my life, will be gone. What the fuck? What good will life be when I have everything I want, but I don't have this fucking fear, this guilt fucking shit that I put on everybody else about, oh, we are funny creatures. Financial freedom, fear of being attacked. Fear of humiliation. Fear of rejection relates to relationships and money. Fear and sadness. Fear of being super rich. There's Marilyn. Being super rich with so much money. What the fuck will happen to me if I'm super rich with so much money? I'm going to be... See, now several people were playing the same game here. All right, let me get back over to video now. Those of you that want to, all right, we're coming up on 2 hours. So I'm going to move towards wrapping this up. Linda, unmute. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, a lot of, wow. Yep, makes a lot of sense.
All right, now you can pick, here's the irony. You can pick all that shit right back up if you want.
Yeah.
You
I
can. I'm letting you know. You have total freedom. Well, are you sure you don't want it?
No, I'm not sure. But I prefer not to.
All right. So what about simplifying your what I want? All right, listen, I'm gonna do something for myself here, okay? Because I'm the universe. Listen to what I'm gonna do now. There's a lot more on the table, and I could go further, and I could work with a bunch of people. I'm coming up on 2 hours, and I got some shit to do, okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wrap this up for everybody with one thing. This idea about programs, I'm gonna be working with this a lot more. I was reflecting on it earlier today, and I was thinking about how I was looking at how people say things, myself included. People say things like fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy shit. Like, they don't feel like it's okay to just say, I would like to have some French fries. Oh, I'm dying for some fries. What the fuck? Now listen, to do that from fun once in a while, but I believe that most of us, most of the time, are speaking out of our programs, and we're diverting from simply saying the simple, blunt, pure truth because we don't feel safe doing it, and we're sure that they're going to judge us. Okay, now I'm going to go back to something that I talked about a while ago, and some of y'all are going to get all shocked, and somebody's going to try to get offended, but I'm not going to let you. Okay. To me, this is really one of, if not the ultimate example. Okay. Does anybody not ever want to receive amazing oral sex? Does anyone not, like, no, I would never, like, no matter what happens, I just don't want anyone to ever, like, really do that really well for me. I would not like that. Okay. Why is nobody throwing their hands up? Okay. Now, if you had an experience as a child where you associated trauma and fear with that, you would have just raised your hand. Did you know that? You're like, no, no one would ever not want that. Yes, yes, so trust me. Okay. But now, in a world where without that problem, without that experience in your past, how many of us will go to the person that we're in our, intimate relationship? Some of you want to be in multiple intimate relationships. Some of you want to fuck everybody. Okay, that's your shit, right? Okay. But let's just make it really simple. You're with the person. In fact, let's say this. You've been dating, for 10 months. You went really slow. That's what you wanted. You went really slow. You dated for 10 months. And now you're just at this point where, like, okay, we're ready to get physically intimate. We're going to have sex. Are you going to feel comfortable looking at your person and your person that you're with and saying, listen, I want you to go down on me and lick my pussy like a cat, like a cold cat with warm milk. I want you to just go batshit fucking crazy, licking me like your life. Would you feel comfortable looking in the eyes of the person and saying that to them with a straight face? Okay, but here's the thing. You know damn well, and this is not for everybody. I'm gonna go a little further, just to be accurate. Listen, there are people who would infinitely prefer to give oral sex to their partner than to receive it. That's just like, it just does so much for them. Okay, but I'm talking about, okay, so maybe you actually want to do that for your partner, and you haven't been there. You haven't been able in your life ever yet to really go there with total passion, total wildness, just abandon and doing it the way you really want. So turn it around. You're looking at your partner, and you say, I have never told you this. We've been together for 40 years, and I've never said this to you. But oh my God, what I want more than anything else is to eat you alive. Like, I just want you to disappear or dry up like a raisin when I'm done. That is what I want more than anything else in the whole world. Is you just, and you're just like sand when I'm done with you, okay? Would you feel comfortable going to them and looking in their eyes and saying that? Especially if you really felt excited and breathless about doing it. See, and that, wait, why? The thing that you kind of sort of want to do, okay, I'm okay if we do that. You say that shit, but the thing you really want is the thing that you won't say. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, nobody's gonna nod.
He's talking about them, not me.
So check this out. From that to asking for the raise. From that to being in line and there's 3 people ahead of you and you're in a major hurry and you're hesitant to say, excuse me, you guys, everybody's waiting in line. I don't mean to cut. I've really got an emergency. Would you guys be okay if I were to go ahead? Would that be okay? Carol, is it okay? Because it was nothing really personal about you anyway. Is it okay if I mention what happened when I was on the phone? And okay, so I was on the phone working out a detail with a customer servicey person for a couple minutes, and when I was with Carol, and as this customer servicey person began to say, well, may I let you know about our blah blah blah, and I said, listen, I appreciate you. You got a job to do. I know you're doing your job. Thank you. I'm in a really tight time space right now. I'm very focused. I got a couple of urgent things. This is not the time for me to do that. And Carol, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to give the essence of what I got back from Carol was, fuck, I didn't know you could do that. Like, I might have let them run over me with their thing, or I might have been rude to try to get out of it, or, you know, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Bottom line point of what I'm actually, believe it or not, I actually have a point with this shit. When I gap like this, I actually have a point. Here's my point. I don't know what the fuck it was. I'm just kidding. Here's my point. What if every time you go to open your mouth before you even open it, what if every program running in your body preempts what you were about to say, so in such a way that when you go to speak, before the voice of your soul ever even gets to your lips and your tongue, but it's already passed through a shocking number of programs that have altered it so far from what you actually meant to say? Did you say some stupid shit? You say some crazy fucking like, and then you're offended that the person you said, they didn't even hear me. Neither did you. Oh, the ones who won't smile at that. I'm not going to say nothing. The ones who won't smile at that, you got a secret. So what if you were to pull out your lovely journal, watching the replay, pull out your journal and just say, what's some of the stupidest fucking shit I said? The craziest, wackiest shit I've said in the last couple of days. And what if I set my intention for the next 24 hours? I'm going to be a little bit more alert about how I spin shit inexplicably before I even say it. You might begin to notice some of the programs that have been running, well, everything, running your life. Not only preventing you from speaking, but when you fucking do speak, you don't say nothing totally like what you said. I said it, the vast majority from the, yeah, oh my God. Well, that powerless program, see, that's one of the early pre-verbal programs that basically, it blurs everything, goes through that. And there's a few foundational programs. Gravity, I'm in a body, I'm powerless. And that leads up into great gems like, not okay to be mean, not okay to want what I want, not okay to express what I want, not okay to ask for what I want, and definitely not okay to get what I want, because I'm either going to get punished for it or it's going to get taken. All the things that everybody was talking about here today. Man, I love me some level 5, man. This is the good shit right here. I don't hear this shit nowhere else. So did anybody, my ego is feeling very fragile and very timid right now. Anybody get any value out of today? Anybody, was this for you? You skim across. Was this for you? This shit was for me. Barbara, you know what? Let me ask you a question. I told Barbara messaged me before the session and said, Brian, I would like to discuss blankety blank. And did what I just, be honest, Barbara, back yet? Okay, I'm back. Yeah, another call was coming in. I don't know how the hell that happened. So Barbara, tell me if that addressed it or if you still want to ask me.
If it addressed what I asked you about forgiveness.
Okay, so just if what I just did not significantly help with your question, go ahead and ask your question because I did tell you you could bring it up on this session.
The question I was asking was this. I see it as in my mind as an idea of going back before something happened, and then you say, but it didn't really happen.
All right, I get the theme. Now, what's the specific question?
It just confuses me that it didn't happen, and I go back before it happened to forgive it.
Okay, you feel confused about that topic. Okay, so let's see. Let's apply this to forgiveness. All right, I'll give you the distillation of it, and this is a clarity, a theme I talk about often. Getting total clarity on it so that you can use it and apply it to specific things. All right. So item number 1, love is all there is. There's nothing here but love. Here's what I'm saying, and then the specific thing about going before. Love is all there is. All else is a misperception. I am love, which is all that is. I am that. And all of this that arises from the programs is misperception. You with me on this? Okay. This is getting clearer every time I say it, I'll bet. There's only love here. Everything else is a misperception. Okay, that's nice, Brian. What do I do with all this fucking misperception? Okay. I don't like all this. Okay, so forgiveness is the way to undo misperception and return to love. And true forgiveness doesn't mean letting bygones be bygones or that you fucked up, bitch, but I'm going to forgive you, but I'll never forget. It doesn't mean any of that shit. Forgiveness means, look at the word, forgive. I'm going to give before. I'm going to realize that I gave this before. In fact, this whole thing that I think is a bad thing, this whole misperception, I'm the one who gave it before. I think it's happening to me now, but I gave it before. When did I give it? When I created the fucking illusion of time and space. So how would I return to before I gave it? I become totally present back in my eternal being. And the more present I am, have you ever noticed, you know, that real big problem that really pisses you off all the time? You ever notice that when you're really present, it ain't bothering you at all? Have you, Barbara? Have you ever noticed? Because I'm going to tell you, I've seen you in the state when we finished the session and I said, you got any questions? And you go, no. You know, that when you're there, you ain't got no problems. Krishnamurti, here's a different way to say the same thing. Krishnamurti said, in truth, we don't actually solve any of our problems. We outgrow them. In other words, we rise to the state of awareness where ain't no fucking problem there. The problem is I got my head up my ass. And all I see is brown and everything stinks. Okay? But I return to presence, and from presence, there's no issue. Now, but Brian, that doesn't necessarily mean that the physical symptoms that I don't prefer have changed. That's right, because the first thing you do is you notice, oh, fuck, it didn't change. Look, goddamn. So stay in the present. Stay in the presence. Keep choosing the present. Keep going back to the, keep choosing the presence again and again and again and again and again. I'll say one more thing. You tell me. I'll seal this up. See. Let me know if this is it helping yet.
Yes.
I've clarified the specific point, which is what do I mean by going before for giving? I'm going before. Okay, going to give before. So I was on a session with someone today, someone living in Europe, and she had literally one of the biggest batches. So she didn't hire me for the 4 days. She actually did, and she wasn't able to come physically. So I'm doing 12 weeks of sessions online with her. We did the first session, and my God, everything came apart. Like, oh my God, the most amazing thing. She immediately nose dove into Shitville, straight to hell. Okay. Oh my God, nothing's changing. Everything. I said, I spent an hour with her today, helping her completely get all the way out of it. Man, resistance. Woo! This woman, she kept saying, it's not changing. It's not, why is it not changing? It's not changing. And I said, let me ask you a serious question. Will the question, why is this not changing, bring you any awareness of what has changed? So no. Listen, the moment you're in is two things. The moment you're in is two things. It is the eternal moment where all is perfect and nothing is moving and nothing is changing and nothing is physically embodied in the first place. It is also the moment in time which is flowing like a river into the next instant where everything can change. We're sitting here focused on what didn't fucking change, which perpetuates it not changing. If we're in true forgiveness, we return again and again and again and again to presence, to presence, to presence. We notice when I'm not feeling good, I'm not present. Get back to present. No, why am I not feeling good? I'm going to focus all my energy on not feeling good. And why don't I feel? And I felt good before, but I'm not feeling good now. And I don't know. And I'm going to figure this shit out so that I feel good. It's never going to make you feel good. It's never going to make the physical symptoms or the reality change. Forgive. Go back to where you were before you fucking gave that shit. And then you can undo error with love. Healing the past in the present and freeing the future. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Does it answer the question?
Part way, the one thing that brought this up for me was it wasn't a case of things not getting better, it was a case of something getting worse.
Are you absolutely positive beyond the shadow of a doubt that it's worse?
It feels worse. It's a symptom. It's a pain.
Okay, so is there any possibility that the intensifying, what you call a worsening of pain, is there any possibility that it's actually an intensification of sensation?
It feels like it's an intensive.
It feels it.
Sorry?
Where is the it that feels it?
Oh, yeah. I feel a stronger sense of pain.
Ah, okay. I'm not insensitive to your sensitivity. And I'm not belittling it. I'm not making light of it. I am reminding you that it's all light ultimately. And I've had strong sensations before, and I might have punched the motherfucker in the mouth that tried to tell me, that it wasn't real. So that's not what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. You're having increasing sensations.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But worsening situation is a mental interpretation of the truth, which is an increasing sensation that you don't prefer.
Yeah.
Do you know for a fact that anything is getting worse?
It's more debilitating.
You know for a fact that anything is getting worse?
It feels like I can't do what I used to do because of the pain.
Where's the it that feels that?
Oh shit.
It's okay. It's okay. What you're revealing, listen, you breathe a little deeper and relax a little bit more. I wouldn't be enjoying it if I were you. I can relate 1,000%. I'm not insensitive. I'm still calling you to presence. Sympathizing with you won't help. Telling you, I know, I hate when it's like that won't help either. Agreeing with you is sure not going to help because you're lying to yourself. When you say, I feel sad, I'm going to change the rules up. When you say, I feel sad, that's the truth. But when you say, it's getting worse, the situation in my life is getting so much worse and it's making me sad, you're lying. You're mentally interpreting what's happening. But when you say, I feel sad, that's the truth. You could even say, I'm noticing that as this situation in my life is continuing to go the way more and more that I don't prefer, I feel sad. That's still true. But saying it's getting worse is a fucking lie. It's a mental interpretation. How do you expect for you to allow the change to be more the way you prefer when you're telling yourself it's getting worse?
Yeah.
Especially when it isn't true. So I'm going to ask you a yes or no question again. Do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that the situation is getting worse?
No.
Now, you just gave me the answer that I want to hear, but that ain't what I want. I want you to speak from your fucking truth. I want you to speak from your truth. I want you to answer what you know to be true that you can feel when you say it. Do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt, for an absolute unquestionable fact, that anything is getting worse?
No.
All right. Now that's the truth. Is it changing? Is it changing? The situation is changing. You're noticing the symptom that you're noticing is changing, right?
Yes.
It's the symptom. Don't worry about giving me the wrong answer. I'm always going to ask you again. You can look at it and there's no wrong answer. You can look and you can see it's changing. The situation is changing. The symptom is changing. The sensation is changing. It's getting stronger. You're feeling it more than you were. That's all true. But it is getting worse is a mental interpretation.
Yeah.
You're going to be free of the physical delusion when you're giving all of your attention to a lie that frames it as getting worse. Do you expect to get more of what you want out of something you're sure is getting worse? I say, oh my God, everything in my life is going to hell in a handbasket. Boy, I expect wonderful nuggets of joy to rise up into every moment after I say that shit. No. So, Barbara, I'm not insensitive. I'm encouraging you to return to full presence, and presence will say, man, these physical sensations that I am feeling them more intensely. I would prefer to be feeling much more lightness, much more joy, much more pleasure. I would prefer that, and I'm noticing right now that I am feeling these sensations more intensely. That's the truth. The truth will always place you back in your power. Lying and telling yourself it's getting worse makes you powerless. It's getting worse. I have nothing to do with it. And it's a lie in the first fucking place. Now you're getting it, okay? Does that make it go away? No. It puts you back in the fucking truth and in your power where you can address it and be present to it, which is the only place you're ever going to be able to make it more the way you want. So now what would you do then once you return to this place? You would say, wow, I am really feeling these sensations. When I said it is getting worse, I didn't like it. I didn't want it. I want to resist it. I want to fight it. I'm trying to get away from it. Now I'm getting frantic. It's getting worse. And the downward spiral of kill me now. So what would be the opposite of that? What would I prefer? What would I choose? I say, wow, okay, to be completely honest, I am not enjoying this intensifying of these sensations. That's true. No mental interpretation there. I would prefer this. However, right now, this is what is. I'm sitting by the pool. with no money. I have no way out that I can see. I burned all my bridges. I'm down to, right? Brian at the pool. Okay. So I'm sitting here noticing these intensifying situations. I certainly prefer that. And right now, these sensations are up. So instead of fighting what is, instead of interpreting what is as a badness, I'm just going to fully feel what is. And I'm going to relax into it as best I can. I can get through this. Many have gotten through. If those monks in Korea could pour gasoline on themselves and light a match and get burned alive on video to show the world what's possible, if they could do that and sit completely still in fucking full lotus while they melt and burn to death, I can get through this sensation, unless I'm telling myself it's getting worse and fighting. So I'm going to feel it with all that I got. I'm going to become present to the sensations and feel it with all that I got and see if there's anything for me to do here. Is there anything for me to tune into? Is my body asking for anything? And you know what? What if that situation was to continue to become more intense until it creates the circumstances where I leave my body? I wouldn't prefer that. I wouldn't necessarily intently choose that. But if I accept the possibility, I'm going to leave this body. I left every other body I was ever in. In fact, I never was in them, but that don't change anything. If I made total peace with that, I might find myself in bliss. I'll never feel that when I'm telling myself it's getting worse, which makes me resist and fight and puts me in a frantic, defensive place. Can you do that? Will you choose it?
I'll choose it.
Might you forget again?
I might.
Might. It's entirely possible. Can you choose it again?
I can keep choosing over and over.
You can keep choosing it over and over and over and let the magic happen. That won't happen while you're mentally interpreting and lying to yourself and calling it worse. Love you, Barbara.
Thank you. Love you.
Welcome. Who else was that for? Anybody else find themselves experiencing a body? Cindy? All right. Somebody who loves me. I know that's you. Someone who loves me. Somebody who is naturally organizational that wants to jump in. I tell you what, anybody is welcome to. I propose that we do in this program what we have done in some other program. Someone has said, oh my God, I want to be the one to do this. Somebody feels led to, inspired, desiring to start a Google document. And as you're watching the replay for the second or third time, start to do some timestamps. Don't transcribe every fucking word unless that's your thing. Start to timestamp, spell break on physical sensation with Barbara. So session 3 at this moment. At this moment, he worked with Linda. At this moment, someone do that, because we're going to have something that's going to be really, really valuable and something really beneficial and helpful for everybody else to come back to. Okay? And if a team wants to take that on, and what's great about having a team do something like that, one of you fuckers is going to say, oh, you can count on me to help, and then you won't. And the other person who said they were going to help can get pissed off and feel like a victim at the person who said they were going to help and then didn't. So that creates a whole nother fun opportunity for people to feel their feelings. I'm not sorry for having fun. So here's the deal. I love you. Mariah, perhaps next session you and I might play together, maybe. You have brought up more than once this OCD thing, and I am telling you that I'm not insensitive, just like what I just did with Barbara. I'm not insensitive to those fears. I am not insensitive. I'm just saying it's fear. And every time you call it OCD, and see, you know, when we're feeling afraid, we do crazy fucking shit, like calling it OCD, which other people taught us to do. And then we know what it is, but that doesn't make it better. She knew that the symptoms were getting worse. And that was not going to make it, quote, better. Calling it OCD is not going to get you out of that fear. All right. If anybody knows of a session that I've ever done where I really worked with fear, please make a note about it in the group. You can share that, and I'll dig it out, or you can dig it out, and I'll share it with Mariah. I love you all. You're me, and I'm you. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. There never was. Nothing's getting better or worse. You are infinite, unlimited being. You're the one. Boy, you've done an amazing job creating all this illusion. You've done flawless perfectly. I'm amazed. I'm in awe. I mean, like, geez, you could fuck shit up, and you can make perfection look fucked up and make it look so convincing. I'm amazed. Of course, I'm as good at it as you are. Don't make no mistake. You ain't better than me. That's true. Peter's session can help. Any sessions you guys we can make a post about fear and put things, and you see another reason for us to go back and start to document a document where session 1 is timestamped, session 2 is timestamped. Each program, every session has some timestamps. That'll be so helpful for everybody. So there's nothing wrong with you. There can't be. There never was anything wrong with you. You're perfect. Chill, breathe, choose presence. And then when you do that stupid fucked up shit again, choose presence again and realize it wasn't stupid fucked up shit. And then when you go say that dumb fucking thing and the other person gets pissed off at you for saying the dumb shit, but you're pissed off that they saw what you said as dumb, just choose presence again. And then when you don't do what you said you were going to do and the other person says, man, why the fuck? Choose presence again. And when your partner yells at you, choose presence again and realize if I didn't need that, they wouldn't have done it. I was asking for it. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. This is no victim zone here. No perpetrators either. I bet we ain't got a fucking Democrat in the bunch. Probably no conservatives either, actually. I say libertarians, but I don't mean it necessarily in the way they're. This is about liberty right here. So I will see you soon. Probably like next Thursday. Aloha, everybody.